One of the biggest concerns of the ocean is the issue of plastic pollution. Microplastics that cause significant changes in these vast marine environments require thorough examination from a scientific point of view. To understand this issue, the focus is directed towards the industrial origin of plastic, starting with the extraction of raw materials derived from petroleum, followed by a complex chemical processes, and concluding with the production stage. Over a period, these artifacts undergo breakdown, resulting in the emergence of microplastics. Looking at the statistical data according to Malaysian Plastic Manufacturers Association for plastic production in Malaysia in 2018 to 2022, the overall trend is predominantly positive, except for a decline observed between the year 2019 and 2020.
Plastic pollution has significant and far-reaching effects on the environment, affecting various ecosystems and contributing to a range of environmental problems. Some of the key impacts would be marine pollution, wildlife impacts, habitat disruption, human health concerns, air pollution, soil contamination, economic impact and global environmental impact. Ocean contamination. Our oceans, the lifeblood of our planet, are under siege. Plastics, designed for durability, persist for centuries, wreaking havoc on marine life and ecosystems. Next. The silent killers. Microplastics. It emerge as larger plastics disintegrate ingested by marine organisms. These minuscule particles threaten the very foundation of the marine food chain. Ingestion. Animals often mistake plastic for sustenance. Ingestion leads to digestive blockages, malnutrition, and an agonizing death. Our fellow creatures face a grim fate entangled in plastic snares, hindering their movements, feeding, and reproduction. Plastic pollution is also an unwelcome interloper that disrupts ecosystems. Tipping the delicate balance of nature, our precious coral reefs, which are fragile and vital, fall victim to plastic's indiscriminate assault, jeopardizing the very heartbeat of our oceans. Next are human health concerns. Food chain contamination. As plastics disintegrate, they insidiously infiltrate our food chain, posing a threat to human health through seafood that is contaminated. The insidious additives in plastics leach into our environment, endangering both wildlife and humans. Moving on, microplastics are also in the soil and in the air. No realm is saved as plastic particles infiltrate our soil, compromising its quality and potentially infiltrating our food chain through plants. Plastic particles take flight, a silent invasion of our air. From the breakdown of plastics to tire abrasion and synthetic textiles, the air we breathe becomes tainted. The economic impact is also in crisis due to poor plastic waste management. The cleanup costs are increasing, and the price of redemption is steep. Governments, organizations, and communities bear the burden of colossal cleanup costs, grappling with the aftermath of our plastic addiction. Impact on tourism and fishing. Once vibrant industries, tourism, and fisheries bear the brunt of plastic pollution, it deals a devastating blow to local economies. Local businesses that depend on tourism suffer as the appeal of polluted landscapes diminishes. Lastly, we have a global environmental impact. We explore a crucial aspect of this impact, the intricate connection between plastic usage and climate change. The production and disposal of plastics weave a complex narrative within the broader tapestry of environmental degradation, with a direct link to climate change. Our seemingly innocuous use of plastics resonates far beyond the visible pollution. The very production process of plastics is a contributor to climate change, emitting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. From the extraction of raw materials to the manufacturing process, greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide are released, adding to the warming of our planet.
As we all know, plastic pollution is one of the factors contributing to degradation of our Earth health. It's happening all around the world as we are watching this video. Let's talk about the issue on global scale. Our first issue is increase in plastic pollution. A study was conducted by an international consortium of scientists where they conclude that in the absence of urgent policy action, there exists a significant likelihood that the influx of plastics into the oceans may surge by a factor of approximately 2.6 times within the time frame spanning from the present day to the year 2040. As per a recent scholarly research, the Earth's oceans are afflicted by a pervasive plastic smog characterized by an estimated 171 trillion individual plastic particles with a collective weight of approximately 2.3 million metric tons. This study involved the comprehensive analysis of global data spanning the period from 1979 to 2019, encompassing data collected from nearly 12,000 sampling sites located across the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, in addition to the Mediterranean Sea. The research findings reveal a notably rapid and unprecedented escalation in oceanic plastic pollution since the year 2005. The escalating proliferation of plastic within the ocean surface layer necessitates immediate and decisive international policy intervention aimed at minimizing the ecological, social, and economic repercussions. Existing international plastic policies exhibit several shortcomings, such as bias towards business-centric solutions, lack of specificity, and the absence of quantifiable targets. With the exception of 2019 plastic waste amendments to the Basel Convention on the Control of Transboundary Movements of Hazardous Waste and Their Disposal. However, this convention, while legally binding, exclusively governs plastic trade at the waste stage near the end of its life cycle. International policy interventions implemented after 2005 suffer from deficiencies in robust monitoring frameworks and enforcement mechanisms. Moreover, their non-binding and voluntary nature hinders their ability to effectively curb the rising tide of plastic in the ocean surface layer. Now, let's zoom in specifically into Malaysia. There are three issues in Malaysia that I will talk about. Number 1. Dumping trash into ocean. Utility bidder, home and energy service provider from the United Kingdom made a survey which Malaysia is one of the top 10 countries that dump plastic rubbish and waste into the ocean. About 2.29 kg of plastic per person discards it into the ocean each year. Next, a review on plastic pollution that is done by a group of University Science Malaysia researchers in the year of 2022 state that upon the implementation of the National SWOT policy in 2018, China as the largest plastic waste import in the world has caused a huge industrial shift to Southeast Asia countries as the world's new dumping site, including Malaysia. This drives more severe plastic pollution in Malaysia because the country have weak waste management. Lastly, plastic waste accumulation. The country often relies on landfills to dispose waste, which is extremely inefficient towards persistent plastics. Incorrect garbage disposal causes plastics to accumulate in dumps, adding to land contamination. Plastic decomposes over hundreds of years, resulting in long-term environmental repercussions.
Ethical issue: illegal exporting of plastic waste to Malaysia. Plastic pollution is a global issue with severe environmental, health, social, and economic consequences. Sometimes, plastic waste is shipped thousands of kilometers for recycling, but evidence shows that part of it is burned or dumped in the open. China's recycling ban has sent America's plastic to Malaysia. After importing nearly half of the planet's plastic recyclables for 3 decades, China barred the import of most residential recyclables in 2017. The ban is part of its effort to clean its environment and improve quality of life. On July 27, 2017, China issued a new ban named Prohibition of Foreign Garbage Imports, the reform plan on solid waste import management, banning its import of 24 types of solid waste, which included plastic waste. Since then, Malaysia has been inundated with shipments of illegal plastic waste. Malaysia became a primary destination for plastic waste originating from countries including the UK, United States, Japan, Germany, Hong Kong, Australia, and Italy, among others. In 2021, Malaysia imported more than 500,000 tons of plastic waste and exported around 11,000 tons, making the country one of the major importers of plastic waste globally. Some of the top countries that send their plastic waste to Malaysia include the US and the countries of the European Union. Malaysia agreed to add plastic to the Basel Convention, a treaty that regulates the movement of hazardous materials from one country to another to combat the dangerous effects of plastic pollution worldwide. It is an international treaty that provides an obligation to control the transboundary movements and disposal of hazardous waste. Malaysia has become a party of the Basel Convention on 8 October 1993, and the Department of Environment is the designated competent authority of Basel Convention in Malaysia. As a party to the Basel Convention, Malaysia has the responsibility to ensure all the provisions of the convention are fully complied. In June 2018, Norway submitted a proposal to amend the annexes to the Basel Convention to specifically cover plastic waste. In a landmark decision, in May 2019, the Conference of the Parties to the Basel Convention unanimously adopted the plastic waste amendments. From 2021, 186 states and one regional economic integration organization around the world are bound by the amendments. Annex 2. Waste that requires special consideration. Annex A. The types of plastic waste that are considered hazardous. Annex 9. Waste presumed not to be hazardous. Malaysia does not allow any importation of hazardous waste from any party of member of OECD, European Commission, and Liechtenstein in accordance to the Ban Amendment Basel Convention. Parties will be unable to import US plastic waste unless they are very pure and unmixed. In response, Mageswari Sengarelingam of Friends of the Earth Malaysia stated, "It is very clear that exports of Basel-listed waste from the US are now illegal because the US is not a party to the Basel Convention. We applaud the government for taking action to quickly and properly implement their obligations under the new plastic waste trade rules."
In response to this global challenge, there are some regulations, laws, and policies that have been taken to protect our water. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, has taken significant actions to protect its waters. In 2021, the ASEAN Regional Action Plan for Combating Marine Debris emerged as a beacon of hope. Crafted under the leadership of the Ministry of Natural and Environment in Thailand, this collaborative effort involved ASEAN member states, working groups, development partners, private sector experts, academics, and support from the World Bank. In November 2017, the ASEAN Conference on Reducing Marine Debris recommended a comprehensive land-to-sea policy approach. Fast forward to June 2019, the 34th ASEAN Summit adopted the Bangkok Declaration on Combating Marine Debris, solidifying ASEAN's commitment to environmental protection. From October 2019 to July 2020, the ASEAN Regional Action Plan for Combating Marine Debris took shape. This comprehensive plan, led by Thailand with support from the World Bank, outlines a phased, systematic, and integrated response. The objective? To improve coordination at both regional and international levels, work towards sustainable coastal and marine management by addressing marine plastic pollution. This plan operates through 4 components, primarily focusing on Framework 1, policy support and planning. It strategically tackles plastic waste at 3 key stages of the value chain, which are reducing inputs, enhancing collection, and creating value for waste reuse at the regional level. Now, while ASEAN is making waves, let's explore a generic framework applicable globally, inspired by common principles and strategies. Principles such as sustainability, collaboration, and inclusivity lay the foundation. Objectives center around reducing single-use plastics, increasing recycling rates, and educating the public. The vision? Plastic-free future, achieved through policies, infrastructure investments, and research and innovation. Moreover, implementation involves legislation, public-private partnerships, and rigorous monitoring and evaluation. In addition, community engagement, international cooperation, and embracing the circular economy are essential strategies.
The 5th session of the United Nations Environment Assembly, Guinea 5, has made a resolution on adopting a multilateral agreed definition of nature-based solution. The 5th UN Environment Assembly concluded in Nairobi with 14 resolutions to strengthen actions for nature to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. For several years, plastic pollution has been a major issue raised at the UN and other global fora. Plastics can provide important benefits, from life-saving medical devices to safe and long-life food storage. However, unnecessary and avoidable plastic, particularly single-use packaging and disposable items, are polluting our planet at alarming rates. The overall theme of Union 5 is strengthening actions for nature to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. One of the 14 resolutions is resolution to end plastic pollution towards an international legally binding instrument. This historic resolution mandates the United Nations Environment Programme Executive Director to convene an intergovernmental negotiating committee to draft an international legally binding instrument on plastic pollution, including in the marine environment, based on a comprehensive approach that addresses the full life cycle of plastic during the second half of 2022, with the ambition of completing its work by the end of 2024. The resolution specifies that the instrument could include both binding and voluntary approaches. The agreement is expected to address the full life cycle of plastics, including production, design, and disposal, as well as the design of reusable and recyclable products and materials. Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee (INC). This is the negotiating body established by the UNA to develop the text of a global agreement on plastic pollution. It is hosted by the United Nations Environment Programme and consists of delegates from member states. Zero Draft by INC. The Zero Draft text is proposed to facilitate and support the INC's works towards the development of the international legally binding instrument on plastic pollution, including in the marine environment, called for by UNEA Resolution 14. It does not prejudge the committee's decisions on the content of the future instrument. As requested by INC2 in May 2023, the chair of the process, with the support of the Secretariat, developed the Zero Draft text of the International Legally Binding Instrument on Plastic Pollution, including in the marine environment. The INC will consider how to promote sustainable production and consumption of plastics, from product design to environmentally sound waste management, through resource efficiency and circular economy approaches. The INC began its work during the second half of 2022 with the ambition to complete the negotiations by the end of 2024. The first session of the INC took place in Punta del Este, Uruguay from 28 November to 2 December 2022, followed by a second session in Paris, France from 29 May to 2 June 2023. The third session was held from 13 to 19 November 2023 at the UNEP headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya recently. IUCN welcomes the Zero Draft for discussion at INC3 as an important step in this endeavor and urges parties to mandate the INC Secretariat to elaborate a first draft of the treaty, emphasizing the need for treaty convergence, coherence, and complementarity, in particular with biodiversity-related policies. A global plastics treaty without a common understanding of the plastic life cycle or plastic pollution is at best an aspirational instrument that fails to address the source of the problem. Agreement is sorely needed. An effective international legally binding instrument to end plastic pollution requires ambitious targets for the reduction, limitation, and phasing out of virgin plastics material and problematic plastic products.
There are 6 principles of this roadmap. First, shares responsibility. Government, businesses, and people need to work together to get rid of single-use plastic in the environment. Secondly, sustainable development. Consider economic, technology, environment, development, and social factors. The third one is participatory. Everyone does things together with everyone involved and being open about this. The fourth principle is living document. The plan changes when needed, with new tech and what's happening right now, following what the country needs. Next, good governance. Doing things right, with clear rules and everyone being accountable and open about this. Lastly, precautionary principle. Be careful if something might harm people or nature. The year 2018, the initial steps to a zero single-use plastic was officially launched in October 2018. Nationwide stakeholder engagement in drafting the communication, education, and public awareness program led by Ministry of Local Government of Malaysia. To ensure this effective implementation, an institutional framework and governance structure was established. Expert secretariat was established to coordinate, monitoring, and to facilitate the implementation of the framework. In the year 2019, significant progress was made as some states introduced measures such as the implementation of the no straw by default practice. Additionally, to address plastic pollution, each state will impose a pollution charge at minimum of 20 cents for plastic bags. Looking ahead to Phase 2, the plan of developing a regional marine debris project for external funding such as Global Environmental Fund. In 2020, Circular Economy Roadmap for Plastic including bottles launched. In 2021, technical workshop in developing capacity of all stakeholders in implementing circular economy roadmap. In 2022, the widespread uptake of biobag nationwide, replacing plastic bag. Additionally, the federal government will impose a pollution levy to manufacturers of plastic bags. The legal framework on single-use plastic will be introduced, and the implementation of a regional marine debris project. In 2023, there will be a midterm review of this roadmap, experimental learning integrated into the education system, and communication, education, and public awareness campaign implementation review by Ministry of Local Government Development. The action plan for 2024 to 2030 will be the expansion scope of biodegradable and compostable products. CEPA program continues, an implementation report of the roadmap will be published. Federal government involvement of several parties collaboration, the establishment of platform, the facilitation of resource recruitment, and the monitoring and review procedures. The execution of that process is directed by a joint ministerial committee. State government. The objective of this roadmap is to achieve consistency in the implementation framework addressing the issue of plastic pollution caused by single-use plastic in Malaysia. In order to achieve this objective, it is crucial that state government develop collaborating under the leadership of the state secretary, manufacturer, suppliers, business operator. The involvement of this individual provide the technical and business information to platform established by this government. By promoting proactive measures, these individuals actively contribute to an effective implementation of this roadmap. NGOs. These individuals are encouraged to participate and organize the implementation, such as research, environmental education efforts, and awareness campaigns. Lastly, general public. The involvement and participation of the public through the conduct of communication, education, and public awareness.
In 2021, KASA, which stands for Kementerian Alam Sekitar dan Air, launched the National Marine Litter Policy and Action Plan 2021 to 2030. Here are some objectives that are mentioned, such as to address marine litter pollution through robust policy development, to document concrete steps ahead on tackling marine litter pollution based on scientific evidence and lessons learned from international, regional, and local efforts, to coordinate efforts at every level of the federal government, state government, local government, as well as public, private, and social sectors, to foster further research and innovation to prevent, monitor, and tackle marine litter pollution. Moving on to principles that is used to guide the implementation of the NML PAP 2021 to 2030. First, improve the execution of pertinent international and regional treaties and accords concerning the mitigation of marine debris pollution, specifically those to which Malaysia is a signatory. Second, mitigate the inflow of marine plastic pollution originating from both terrestrial and maritime sources in order to counteract the detrimental effects on the marine ecosystem. Third, display good practices and experience in integrated river basin and estuaries, as well as coastal area management for improved source-to-sea governance, management, and investments. Fourth, encourage a shift in behavior by transforming and adapting lifestyles to embrace sustainable living and eco-friendly practices. Fifth, utilize environmentally responsible and socially equitable robust solutions to enhance the efficiency of reducing marine plastic pollution by employing innovative approaches and practices that leverage advancements in technology, techniques, processes, and systems throughout the entire plastic value chain. And lastly, impacts assessment reviews specific guidelines and best practices documents to strengthen the identified pillars and goals on national marine litter actions. Given the scale and urgency of the marine litter pollution problem, some of the actions will require development and in-depth consultation before implementation. Others could potentially be introduced straight away, such as new international standards to provide verification and assurance on plastic waste reduction. These could include consideration of the following areas: deployment of biotransformation technology by facilitating the degradation of plastic packaging before it reaches the marine environment. Propose the prohibition of oxo-degradable or oxo-biodegradable technology. Implement the recycling purification technology to optimize recycling yields. Ensure strict enforcement measures to uphold the prohibition on the importation of plastic waste. Revise the eco-label system by incorporating the latest technologies and adhering to current standards. Enhance the value of plastic waste by utilizing scientific solutions and innovations to reduce plastic leakage into the environment. Introduce the BSI PAS 9017 standard to signify a new benchmark for assessing the biodegradability of polyolefin plastics in open environments.